Welcome to Gordon's Garage. We're over here at Never Satisfied's Incorporated today. I'm going to unload this transmission jack and replace the transmission in this SquareBody Chevy. Very nice. Step side. I'll show you a little bit more about it here in a second. So we've got this SquareBody Chevy that we just picked up. It's Never Satisfied picked it up. And I'm thinking he said it was about a 78. We'll confirm that. We've already got it on the lift. It's a custom deluxe C10. I'll show you a little closer once we get it back on the ground. Step side, fresh paint, brand new wood bed. It's clean, really clean under here. Very nice. New exhaust. I mean, the floors are just pristine. Of course, it has had floor pans put in it. Rockers are nice. New body bushings. I don't know how old the engine is. I mean, it looks pretty fresh. It runs real good. But somebody put a 700 R4 in it, whoever had it before Scott picked it up. This is 700 R4. And they didn't hook the lockup converter. They didn't wire the lockup converter into it. Let me get a light. We had so much going on yesterday and I didn't put anything up after we got done because it was late. Here's a light. 700 R4 and it didn't get the lockup torque converter wired, or also they did not hook up the TV cable, which is for to shift it into overdrive cable, and so they burnt that transmission up. It's got reverse, but it doesn't have drive anymore. So what we're going to do is put the 350 turbo back in it. Here we've got a 350 turbo that's good. And that's what come in the vehicle. And we're just going to put that back in it. Because, you know, most everybody's using these trucks now for shows and just cruising around town and stuff. Nobody's using them really as workhorses or long distance driving or anything. It doesn't really, I mean, to have that overdrive is nice, but it doesn't really need it. We'll just put the 350 turbo back in it and be done. That's the simplest thing to do. They work, they shift, as long as you got vacuum to them. There's nothing complicated about them. So that's what we're doing today, and we'll just take you along with us. Take you on a test drive when we get done. All right. First thing I like to do is go ahead and get my shifter linkage loose if I can. Just like that. Drop that down. That way I can go ahead and shift the transmission into neutral or reverse. Just get it out of park. That way we can go back here and spin our drive shaft. And yeah, that pinion angle is terrible. This thing needs some wedges in it. We may end up doing that. But for right now, we'll get the U-joint, get the drive shaft bolts out of it and slide that drive shaft out. Those are usually, I believe, the 7/16 range on these Chevrolets. It is, and that's too big. So what you can do, and most of you know this, but hey, we're just trying to provide free entertainment here. So I'll just get me a screwdriver like that wedged in there, because your drive shaft's going to turn now that you got it out of gear. Hold that, and then you can break your bolts loose. Yeah, just like that. And those are already a little bit loose. They weren't super tight. I didn't think they would be, since somebody's already, and I keep saying somebody because I don't know who has worked on this before me, but a lot of times when they've been worked on like that, the bolts are gonna be, you'll find they'll usually be not super tight, because somebody's already been messing around, and a lot of times people just don't take the time to get them as tight as they should. Yeah, we'll just get those bolts out, and then we'll drop the drive shaft. Right, we've got our transmission bolts, or not, our drive shaft bolts out. And one thing you'll notice that we did drop our bolts there. That's fine. I'll pick those up off the ground. But what I was going to say is, one thing that I will always do is I'll take a roll of masking tape, and I'll go ahead and tape this U-joint up, because what'll happen is, or what can happen is, these caps will fall off that U-joint, and needle bearings will go everywhere. They'll fall out of the caps, and then I'm stuck either finding all those needle bearings and cleaning them up and putting them all back in there, or going and buying a new U-joint and putting a new U-joint in. So if we just go ahead and take the time to tape that up, in my opinion, the cost of this little bit of tape here that we're going to use far outweighs the cost of all the labor to put all those needle bearings back in there. So at this point, we'll go ahead and yank this drive shaft out of the back of the transmission. But I'm gonna put this garbage can under there, just in case it tries to drip anything. So there, you got your drive shaft out. We're just gonna lay it over to the side. And we'll pick our bolts up off the floor, get them put away, and go about the business of getting that transmission unbolted and dropped out. All right, so now we'll go about the business of getting this cross member unbolted and out. You can see somebody's had it out. They put brand new bolts in the bottom side, but look at the upper side. They didn't put their bolts back in there, possibly because the holes still line up. They just didn't put their bolts back in the top. So they actually did us a favor by not doing that. I don't know how easily that's going to come out with that exhaust hanging there on each side, but we're going to find out. It's so dark under here half the time. Not half the time, all the time. All right, let's get our transmission jack up under the transmission. I mounted this tire on top of the jack because it kind of gives that transmission a cushion to sit on. Kind of works out. This transmission jack takes a lot of trips between my shop and Gordon's garage and Never Satisfied's garage. I wouldn't mind having a automatic one, like air over hydraulics or something, or even like a little electric pump on it or something. But I guess I need the workout. In this case, that we need to get a board under there. I try to keep some 4x4 blocks around here, but Scott is a pyromaniac. He burns everything. All right, that's as high as that's going. Let's see if we can get all this loose. All right, there's the upper part of that mount. Let's get the other side off of there if we can. The other half. And there's our cross member. Now what I like to do is just let that transmission jack down, let that transmission come down as far as it'll go. Just let it hang on the exhaust so we can get better access to our transmission bolts. So we've had a little bit of an amateur hour here. The dipstick tube is supposed to come out and bolt to that transmission bolt. Instead, they've got it mounted over here to the firewall. That works, but it ain't right. Scott's taking the transmission bolts out. He couldn't wait on me because he's never satisfied. All right, we'll just let her film. All right, hold it. Just go forward just a little bit. That's probably good. I mean, we're on the pan. That'll be good. It'll fall out into place. That last transmission bolt. Hold on, we got this cable under it. Dang it, I forgot about that. Gotta get it loose.
Probably come down and just bring it out today.
Right here, like this, I think. We can get it out of this. Then we could take this long rod and hook it back here somewhere like that. Right there. Oh yeah. Okay, she is ready to start dropping. If you want to hit that pedal. All right. Is it hitting those headers?
Just barely. It should be able to pull it back. It should be able to just wheel it all.
All right, Jack, it's probably going to have to go up before we can get past the collector. Just watch that that dipstick tube, because if it pops out, they're going to have fluid everywhere.
Hang on. Come down. Come down some more. Yeah, we're gonna have to get the tube out of it.
I mean, this cleared the ears. If we can, what's the tube hanging on? It should come on down.
Word up. Somebody put another one in it, though. That looks awfully clean.
Yeah, it's somebody. It's a 700 R4. Somebody
Oh,
put it
right.
in there, and they didn't
do.
wire the lockup converter. They didn't
Oh,
have this
burn
hooked
it
up,
up.
and they burn it up.
They burn it up.
So we're just gonna put a 350 turbo back in it. We'll do the right thing.
I hear you, Mr. Cameraman. Are you gonna make another $60 today?
You're right now. You're on film.
Way now.
Yep.
You go straight to the buggy with it.
Well, do you want to drain it a little bit, or
Probably wouldn't hurt.
because we're gonna have to need that dipstick tube. So if we had a pan that we could set it in, or go set it in your, or put the garbage can under it and go ahead and pull the tube out.
Do that. Take it to Mike.
I know he don't like to get them with full of fluid. That thing's got water in it. It's definitely got water in it. I mean, it's pink. It either got water in it or it's getting water from the radiator in it. That scares me. What would you think, Mike? If you've seen,
Definitely got water.
look at it. Don't you think it's got water in it?
It's definitely got water.
That color, it's milky looking. Why though?
This was
all the way down.
What?
This is what it is going out today.
I got this. Here's the neglected again. Get it on there and not deal with it. You gonna take the head in? Oh gosh. You gotta take that again. Adjust this angle right here. How far it'll go. Get up real close. Real close. Push it forward a little bit. There you go. And we're in the zone.
Oh, you're in the hole over here.
Okay, maybe I can
Matter
get
of
it.
fact, you're in the peg
Maybe I
on
can
that
get it.
side.
I doubt I can get a bolt
You gotta-
started yet, but
You gotta
maybe.
come down some on this side. This side's too high. Oh, you should be right on there.
It is.
Yep, it fell in. I felt it.
It's threading now. Oh yeah. Yeah,
It
see?
went on the pegs, didn't it?
Yeah, there's one of them right there that he threw earth on him.
Okay, you should be on.
Too tight yet.
No, I know it. I just snug it. Just a hair. You're in.
One thing we noticed was how pink that transmission fluid is coming out of those cooler lines. So for some reason that 700 R4 had water in it. It's the only reason that would be that pink. It's got water mixed in it. So either it just had water in it from before they put it in, or the radiator's bad and leaking coolant from the radiator into the cooler, the transmission cooler. So what we're going to do is put a external cooler on it just to make sure that we don't get any. We're going to just bypass the radiator, the factory cooler, and put a aftermarket cooler on it just to make sure we don't get fluid in that 350 turbo there. So yeah, we'll take these transmission lines out of this radiator. And I know they'll be pink up here too because they've been circulating that water, but I need to flush those lines. So get the moisture out of them. Oh yeah, pink. See that pink fluid coming out of there? I wonder what the coolant looks like. It looks like water. Doesn't look like there's any antifreeze in it. Really worries me, like maybe it froze in there and ruptured the cooler. Guess we're gonna find out. So let's see, we're figured we'd go ahead and change the pan gasket and the filter on this 350 turbo that we're doing. And so I get the filter off, and look how the old gasket was put on, off-centered. I mean, I don't even understand how that happens. All right, I believe we got her all buttoned up under here. Got our torque converter bolted in. We've got our our drive shaft in, our cross member in. We're missing, there's supposed to be a ball and spring right there, and we're missing it. But that's just gonna have to do for today. It'll still shift. It'll just be kind of rattling around there until we find a replacement for that. We're gonna pull this grill out so we can have access to the radiator and install our transmission cooler. Yep, there we go. going on, man? Okay, we got it all buttoned up and we're putting fluid in it. We will be test driving here shortly. Put some blood in it. Plus we gotta fill the lines up and fill that cooler up. See if I can hit it. That was 5. You think it's gonna take 6?
Mm-hmm.
We ain't got anything on the ground, do we?
Mike, you see anything on the ground?
Nothing. I think our stick is on that part. Or is it over there? Okay, the only thing that we don't have is vacuum down to the modulator, which I was going to maybe come off the front of this carburetor. So that's going to be about a 6-foot piece of vacuum hose. Was the only thing that I should have called you when you were out and I forgot about it. All right, so we've got it running. We're trying to get the transmission fluid topped off now. It does go in gear and move. We haven't driven it yet, but it should be just fine. We had to get a new dipstick tube. The old O-ring, these old tubes, the factory style tube has an O-ring and they'll leak. So what you can do is get a dipstick tube that has the Ford style end that has the push-in seal and they won't leak, so that's what we did. First drive, what'd you say this year was? 76. First drive in the 76 350 turbo swap. Or not really even a swap, back to factory. That switch right there. Is it a switch? Probably your lockup torque converter. That might be what that wire is.
It might be.
No, it looks like it's coming from somewhere else. See if it'll shift. Second. Seems to be going into third, doesn't it? bit, but it still may not be enough vacuum coming out of that little port. Well, we drove it. It didn't shift into third. It's only shifted into second. I think the vacuum modules maybe not have enough vacuum to it, so I switched over to a more stronger source of vacuum. Drive it again and see what happens. We did just change the modulator. We had a known good transmission here on site, so we pulled the modulator off of that one and replaced this one, which was in there. Hopefully it'll shift into third gear now. If it don't, then oh well. Well, we put that whole transmission in the 76 is what year it is. And it will shift into second, but not third. We put a known good vacuum modulator on it with no luck. So we've got another transmission that we absolutely know is good. We just didn't want to use it. So now we're going to use it. So we'll swap it out again. I should be able to swap it in no less than just a couple hours now that we got everything swapped over from the 700 to the 350. There really was not that much modification, if any at all. And it's just the chance you take sometimes when you get a used transmission and put it in. But we'll swap it again, and I won't bore you with all those details unless something goes wrong, and then we'll finally get a good test drive on it, hopefully. Okay, on the 76, I believe it is, we put this 350 turbo that he picked up from the junkyard, and it just does not go into third gear. We forgot we had this one. Shifted perfectly. He just wanted a 700 R4 overdrive, and we just forgot about it. I mean, I stored it, ziplocked the end, plugged it, put plugs in it, everything. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull this one back out, pop that other one in. Shouldn't take but a couple hours, and then we'll be hopefully back right. Okay, so on this 76, got this 350 turbo put in again. Well, not the same one, but a different one. And we're going to take it on a test drive. I'm sure this one's going to shift into third for us, because unless something just went wrong with it sitting over the last year, but we pulled it out of a 73, I think, Suburban. 74, somewhere around in there. And it worked perfectly. So it should work well in this one. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, I can already tell. think it's already in third gear. It's such a curvy driveway leading out of the shop that it's hard to tell, but we'll get it out on the main road and we'll know for sure. But I think I've already felt it shift twice. It's going to go from first to second, and then from second to third, so we're only going to feel it shift 2 times. Waiting on traffic. All right, here we go. Second. Third gear. All right, there we go. We're working. We are in third gear. Pulling good. Second gear, third gear. Why didn't we just do that to start with? Why do we always have to have all the fun? Okay, so we had a successful test drive. We put the other transmission in there. We got 3 speeds now. And she rides real good. She still needs a little bit of love here and there, and we'll get those things worked out on it. We spent a little time. I didn't record any of it, but getting the parking lights in and wired up the other night, the tag lights. Body's been apart on it. We had to get some of the lines straight on it, the bumper straight. But it's a nice running, nice riding 1976 Chevy SquareBody step side. This thing will be on the market soon. Maybe some of you guys watching can get a hold of it. Keep your eyes on Marketplace. And thanks for watching Gordon's Garage. If you like our content, continue to watch. If you hadn't subscribed, to go ahead and subscribe. And share and like if you want to. Appreciate y'all. Okay, the 76 custom C10 with the transmission replaced. Now it has a new set of wheels on it. Mike got the door working here. It wasn't working earlier. We had to slide in from the passenger side. Really nice truck. One of you folks that are watching this can own it. Very nice.